Good morning, James.
Hello.
I am a former Conservative voter. I'm relatively young. I'm 30.
Yes.
And I would continue to describe myself as a Conservative individual. So I'm sort of one of those people that's kind of waiting in the wings to vote Conservative again, because I feel a bit like a political refugee, a little bit like I think you said you felt for many years.
Three years, 2016 to 2019.
Right. Well, so similar period of time to me then, because yes. I left the Conservative Party. I was a member, and I left just after Brexit when it became clear that we were veering sort of quite sharply off to the right-hand side. I remember being at a Conservative Party event where David Davis was the guest of honour, and he stood up and he gave a speech, and you had all these people kind of cheering along, not literally, but sort of calmly as Conservatives do.
Yes.
And I remember he said something that really struck me, and I walked out immediately after he said it. He said that he was doing it for the young people. Yes, I know it was a bit of an extreme reaction, but it really bothered me, because as somebody that was kind of formally pro-Brexit, and then when the process kind of started, and I educated myself, because I mean you can imagine I was quite young for the UKIP period of time, and
yes.
And sort of leading into 2016, still quite young, still politically relatively junior, and I suppose I still am really in political terms.
Yeah.
And as I learned more about it, and it was quite clear how much of a disaster it would be, and how the fringe benefits were extremely fringe, and they weren't outweighed by the negative economic consequences. And I suppose as a Conservative, the economy is kind of my primary driver. Strong economy and all that stuff, it's kind of where I naturally fall. So anything that's going to damage the economy, I'm inherently not for that. And so what he said was he said that he was doing it for young people. Yeah. And I thought to myself, well, hang on, mate,
do you know any?
I'm a young person. I'm like 23, and I hate this.
Yeah. I'm not going to defend him, but he wasn't lying. He did feel that he was handing your generation freedom. I don't know quite how he'd quantify those freedoms now. And he's also the bloke, of course, who said the German car industry, this, that, and the other, and we hold all the cards. So I mean, he's been proved wrong by reality. But I don't know if Davis is one of the people that's capable of admitting that. So I mean. In the context of a radio phone-in, the fact that Brexit is so obviously the biggest answer to the question I'm asking is suboptimal, actually. I prefer to have more complicated and nuanced conversations. So let me nudge you to the complicated and nuanced bit.
Please.
Is there a way back?
A way back for the Conservative Party?
Well, actually both. A way back for the Conservative Party in a sense that would allow a way back for you into the Conservative Party.
Oh, I think definitely. I mean, the Conservatives
What does it look like?
Well, I think they've always been kind of flexible in terms of how they operate, a little bit business-like, and I think it's one of the things that turns people off from the Conservatives, which is fair enough. I mean, it's you and I think, politically would have great disagreements.
Of course.
But at the same time, I would like to think that you and I are driving for the same objectives, protecting people that have less, building the economy, all of these things. We just disagree on the methods.
Yeah,
and that's
maybe.
what makes a centrist a centrist.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I would hope.
Yeah, so would I.
And I'd love to debate that at length. But what does the way back look like? I think that the Conservative Party and the senior politicians are currently in we're going to lose the election mode. I think they're in damage control. They're in jostling for position mode. I think you see that in the fractures that are coming out through the news and through sort of Twitter and social media, and sort of minor sniping. The knives are being sharpened, and I think that's because ultimately they're pragmatic individuals who know they're going to lose the election. I think that they will.
You've seen Johnny Mercer this morning.
I did not know.
Ben Kentish has just got hold of an email he sent to his constituents. He says, I will not accept budgets like the ones we saw last week. It's hard watching these rather comedic figures masquerading as government ministers sprawling around in the media. I mean, that's shots fired from the former Veterans Minister.
Completely. And I think that this is now pre-election preparation. I think actually the budget was pre-election preparation. I think it was a kind of weird ode to the extreme membership and attempt to hold your job when you've lost the election.
That's a nice phrase. It was, yeah.
Because,
not even the extreme membership. I don't think they were sitting there in the shires. I think they were just hoovering up their Brexit dust that Liz Truss had been chopping up and dealing for much of the last 3 years.
I was snorting that Brexit dust not so long ago myself. So, what's his face? Nigel Farage gave a speech at my school when I was 17.
Oh no!
And I just
don't wait. You might not want to do this on national radio, Ed. I don't want to be your. I don't want to. Whoa, seriously?
Yeah, well, I was 17 and I wasn't
You
really
were just 17.
aware of,
I know what you
anything.
mean. And he saw you standing there.
Precisely, sir, precisely. But we all move on. We all move and
Well,
change.
that's the point. And there's no point having a mind if you never change it. Ed, thank you. I'm moving on only